Hello everyone and welcome back to myself building this
Abomination.
abomination called a Gundam kit. In the last part we managed to get these done. We managed to get bits of the feet done.
Those
So
sexy shoes.
um, so yeah, we're gonna try and go ahead and try to complete them. And it looks like we're gonna be adding a bit more red to the design.
Oh, you love that.
Yeah. I do like red as a color, but I don't want like every single thing to be colored red. Like
Right.
there's a point where I know this might be weird for me to say, but there's a point where red becomes like too much red.
Obnoxious, yeah.
And there's also the thing where like if you paint like your walls like a certain color, it makes everything look way bigger or way smaller.
Right. Well, an accent of red. Like, you have a gray room,
Right.
or God forbid, a beige room. That would be my living nightmare. And you throw in some red, just a splash, a sploosh of red.
Yeah.
Looks classy, looks sassy. You go and paint all four walls red, you're going to be like in the funny bin.
Yeah.
Unless you have a gigantic house.
Yeah.
And we've got
One
an
thing-
extremely tiny house.
It makes me so sad because on my homepage there are people who have these rooms where they make entire like home theaters or home arcades, and I'm like, I want that. Like I want that so badly. This makes me want to get my own. This makes me want to get my own place more and more, so I could have this whole. That could basically just make my dream house, essentially.
Yeah.
Like that's what I. That's that's what I want out of life. I want to make a room a home theater. That would be amazing. Imagine us watching The Cat Returns in like a home theater like that. That would be kind of interesting to do. Like go to like go like if you're able to like time travel to go to like certain movies like the day they like premiered
Yeah.
to see like people's like initial reaction to it, because back then people wouldn't know about it. So
Right.
like how would people react to it seeing it for the first time? Because usually their first reaction is either different or it's pretty much the same. Especially when it's like something based on something that they really really do enjoy, but the movie they end up they end up not liking. Like that's basically like word for word what happened with Star Wars when Episode 1 came out for the first time. Like people watched it and like they knew in their heads that they didn't like the movie, but they were just telling themselves that they did like the movie because it was Star Wars, and they didn't want to admit that
sucked.
that they didn't like the movie.
Well, what about like you've read the Attack on Titan books,
Yeah.
and you've seen the Attack on Titan television show, and you've
Yeah.
even played the Attack on Titan game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the game's a totally different beast altogether.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed by the television show, having read the books, or were you pleasantly surprised or blown away?
I actually saw the anime. Like I saw like the anime first before I started reading the manga. Like the first thing I actually saw of it was actually a parody video of it where they like it's like an abridged series where they take like clips from an anime and edit it together to be like a lot more like comedic with like a lot more jokes and stuff. Like I remember seeing a clip of that, and I'm like, what is this show? And then I look up more stuff about it, and then I end up watching like certain bits from the series when it was on Toonami. But I think when I started actually trying to watch the show, it was during like the middle half where we actually find out that that Eren is able to like turn into a Titan and all that stuff.
I still don't understand what happened. Like, why is he able to do that? But okay, go ahead.
But yeah, that was the first like clip from the series that I actually saw, and then I saw people playing like different fan games on it. So I basically became a fan of the series before I actually started watching the series.
Okay.
And still to this day I haven't watched the full. I haven't even really like watched the full first season like in full. I've seen like the middle half continuing on, and then I haven't seen like anything from like season. Like I know what happens in like the second season, but I haven't fully watched the show. Mostly just because I've been busy trying to catch up on other shows.
Oh.
But I do eventually want to rewatch the series and get like a full like a full
Perspective?
yeah, exactly. Because then I feel like I would have like a more of a like I feel like if I saw more of it, my perspective of it might. I'm not sure if it would be different, but I feel like it would be not the exact same as how I feel about the show. Because I think I actually mentioned it in one of the previous videos I did where they were talking about the fourth season, and I feel like the like when the series first came out, people gave it like so much hype, and then season 4 comes around, and I feel like not many people are talking about it as much as they would if it was like say the second season, because the second season was like even more hype than the first, because it kept on. It was like estimated to release during a certain time, and then it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and people were all like hyping it up, not sure what was going to happen, how the series would be different or how it would be similar to like the manga and all that stuff. But I feel like nowadays it's not as hyped up as it would have been if it was like in its earlier days. If that makes any sense.
What about Castlevania? Is that just based on the game?
It's based on the story from the games, but they add.
Oh, they'd have to add a whole lot because the game is.
It was an NES game. There's not really a whole bunch in terms of
Not
story.
a lot of story.
Unless you read like the instruction manual and all that stuff. Because that's what games did back in the day. They would have all the story in the manual, and in the game, you would just start up not knowing at all what was happening.
Well, how did you feel about Castlevania?
I thought it was. I was surprised, honestly, on how much I really liked it. Like I felt like I was going to like it to a certain extent because I heard people talk about it, and most people talked about how it was only like 4 episodes long, like the first season of it. Like when all 4 of them like first meet, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I saw the DVD for season 2, and I was gonna immediately buy it. And this was before I even showed you the
Oh yeah.
the first season. So I went ahead and I bought it, and I watched it with you, and you ended up really really liked it also, which made me happy. I was glad that we both enjoyed them the same way.
I just don't like how they drew Dracula.
Yeah, he had a bit of an odd sort of design.
Looked like a rat.
Yeah.
A rat with greasy hair.
Honestly, he kind of did.
Yeah. It's like, how did he get such a hot son? How did Rat Boy make a beautiful son?
So then this goes But yeah, they are making a season 3. It's just a matter of knowing when it's going to come on DVD.
I just think they could have reworked the soundtrack of the game more into the series.
It more into the series.
Yeah, but I mean, make it more orchestrated. Of course, you can't do it NES style, That would have been stupid. But they could have, made it more expansive.
Yeah,
because we love the soundtrack.
Yeah, they have the one scene where all 3 of them are fighting all of those vampires in the castle, and then
at the very end,
and then the music starts playing, and we were both like,
"What?"
Like I was checking something on my iPod, and the music started playing, and I was like,
"Yeah," we both were like.
I was like honestly not expecting it.
Yeah. I mean, we bought the album, and I was expecting the album to sound a lot like the video game, but fancier. And it didn't, and I was like kind of disappointed. Because I like to play the that one soundtrack. I forget which game it is. We play it on Halloween.
Symphony of the Night.
Yes, I love to play that for the trick-or-treaters after we've watched Snoopy.
Speaking of Symphony of the Night, that's a series that I really, really want to go back to on the channel because I ended up never ending up like actually completing that playthrough.
Right.
Because that was back when we only had the Xbox over in there, and then I got my Xbox in there, and by the time I actually got it and saw that I still had the file, I was already moving on to other games. So I basically sort of like, I guess I just sort of abruptly ended the series, but I would like to sort of like restart and go back to the series eventually. Because that was one of the first playthroughs where I felt like really like, I felt like I was going somewhere with that series, because I felt like I had like a whole lot more to say. And since you like the series so much, I would like to have you as like my second like commentator.
Oh God.
I think that would be fun. So we got that.
Do you ever glue the parts together?
That's actually one of the main advertisements they have, is that you don't need glue
Oh, okay.
to make these, because you know they're just snap together kits. They can like.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are some like of the bigger kits that require you to have like little screws that require them to be like screwed on if it has like a certain gimmick to it. But these ones are more like, they're more simple.
Is the arm
for lack
done?
of a better word. This is actually a leg piece.
Oh.
It's close to being done.
It's gonna go on his little feet?
Yeah. Now I just gotta find
Oh, that's a nice sound.
the
The sound of the
right
plastic
bit. Yeah.
hitting together.
There's that, and there's that.
Uh-oh.
I'm just looking for the... Oh, here it is.
The most important part of the whole thing?
In a way, yeah.
I was joking! I
So we
didn't mean
got
it.
that, and then we got this. So we just go like that. Then we go like that, and then do that, and then like this. And then we just go like that, and then this goes right into here, like that. So then we actually got the knee bit of it right there. And then there's just another armor piece that needs to go onto here, which is right here. And let me see that for just a second, and then we just attach that part to right, like that, and then there you go, and then the leg looks a lot more complete, for lack of a better word. And I guess that's all it's going to be for this part, so we will see you all in the next part.